Hi everyone, I do apologize a little for the quality of this video. I cannot find my camera, so my bad. But this is my BzzAgent review for the Covergirl Outlast Stay Fabulous 3-in-1. I don't know if that's going to help. Yeah, there we go. And I'm in shade 110, which I'm pretty sure is classic ivory. I'm pretty sure it's the lightest. I did receive this as part of a BzzAgent kit, and I'm very excited because it was one of the ones that I had on my list of foundations to try. I have some pros and cons on it. The first thing is that this is a really, really great shade match for me. I am super pale. I am an N1 in MAC Face and Body. I think I'm an NW20 in their Studio Fix. I am really, really pale, and so finding a foundation that is pale and cool is really hard for me. So this is a really, really great shade match. I applied it today. I applied it with my Beauty Blender. I will get closer so people can see. I don't know if it's going to be obvious. But it went on really smoothly. It's a really nice sheer finish. I had a couple of areas where I could build it. I've had it on now since about 6:30 a.m. and it is currently about 5 p.m. I just came home from work. It's lasted all day. I haven't felt like I was, needing to reapply. I didn't feel like I had a lot of bare patches on my skin. It was a really, really great canvas for my blush and my highlighter. It didn't look like I was wearing foundation. My face and my neck are the same color, which is always exciting. I prefer to not look, like I'm wearing a face mask. Pros, like I said, great color match, great coverage, great staying power. It really does seem to have the primer element. Seems to really be its strong suit. It's really nice and I don't have a whole lot of shiny areas that I didn't put there myself with my highlighter. I didn't feel like my T-zone wore off very quickly. Cons, I've now been wearing this for almost a month. I got it right at the end of April, and I actually wore it to a 10-year high school reunion, and it did not make me look like I was wearing way too much makeup to be, to be my age, which was very exciting. No one looked at me and went, wow, you just caked all that on, didn't you? Super psyched about that. But I wore it for 3 days straight for more than 12 hours at a time. I would put it on at about 8, and I didn't come home until 10 or 11 at night. And by the third day, I could start to see a number of breakouts right along my forehead, which is obviously kind of not what I'm going for here. My skin's pretty calm. It doesn't freak out too much about a lot of things, and the fact that this did manage to break me out after 3 days was a little frustrating. I gave it a couple of other shots. I wore it for a couple more days to work, where I only wore eyeliner makeup for about 8 hours at a time then, and I didn't have the same problem, so I'm wondering if it wasn't partially just the length of time I was wearing it for. But they were very centralized breakouts right up in here, and then I had a couple of dry patches right about here and right about here. So about the areas where my foundation would start to wear off the quickest, I did have some trouble, which is, I guess, the breakout's not an ideal thing for me. Other cons, there may not be any other cons for me. That's my really big thing, is I don't like that it broke me out for that length of time, but I'm wondering if part of that's not the length of time that I wore it for, and, I'm pretty sure they don't recommend, it was almost, yeah, it was almost 12, maybe more than 12 hours worth of foundation wear. That's probably not recommended. But past that point, I really like the foundation. I think it does a very good job of smoothing out my complexion. It does a very good job of giving me a nice canvas to work with for my eye makeup, for my blush, for my highlighters, for my bronzer and contouring. There's nothing worse than when you have foundation on and you've also, put on eyeshadow and liner and all of that, and all anyone can see is how different the match is between your foundation and your skin. So I was really pleased with that. It did a good job covering up my redness. It did a good job kind of smoothing out my freckles so they weren't super visible. So all in all, I would say this is a really great product. I can't speak to if you have sensitive or oily skin, because my skin's pretty dry and it's pretty, calm. But in my book, A+.